Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the remote meeting of Mountsett Crematorium Joint Committee, being held on Monday, the 26th of April 2021 at 9:30 a.m. I'm Councillor Owen Temple, Chair of the committee. This meeting is being streamed live to Durham County Council's website and will be available to be viewed for a minimum of 6 months. I'd like to give a warm welcome to members, officers, and any members of the public or media who are watching this live feed of the meeting. We've already covered the housekeeping issues for everyone in the meeting to follow. Should I lose my connection at any point this morning, the Vice Chair of the committee, Councillor Dave Bradford from Gateshead Council, will take over in my absence until connection is restored. If I could remind members that this meeting is being held in the pre-election period and therefore members will be required to conduct themselves in accordance with the pre-election guidance issued to members by the monitoring officers of Durham County Council and Gateshead Borough Council. Moving on to the agenda, item 1 is apologies for absence. Jackie, do we have any apologies for absence?
Thank you, Chair. We've got apologies today from Councillors Burnett and Dodds from Gateshead Council.
Thank you. And do we have any substitutes?
Not today, Chair. Thank you.
Thank you. So we'll move on to the minutes of the meeting held on the 28th of January 2021. Can I first check if anyone has any matters arising from the minutes? And can I have a mover and seconder?
Yes, I'll move that. Thank you, Councillor Bradford.
Thank you. And a seconder, I think I see Councillor Milburn.
Yes, Chair.
Thank you. Anyone dissenting, please note it in the chat. In which case we'll move on to declarations of interest. And again, I'll wait a moment or two. There are no declarations of interest. So that takes us on to Graham's performance and operational report. Can I invite Graham Harrison, Bereavement Services Manager and Registrar, to take us through the report? Thank you, Graham.
Thank you, Chair. So this report's about the performance and update of the crematorium, and it's from the period of the 1st of January to the 31st of March. There were 487 cremations undertaken during this period, compared to 366 in the comparative period last year. This is an increase of 121 cremations for the period, and the profile can be seen below. Total number of cremations in 2021 was 1,758, compared with 1,399 in 1920, an increase of 359, which is due to the COVID-19 pandemic. The 2021 budget was prudently set for 1,300 cremations during the year. The actual number of cremations undertaken was therefore 458 more than the budget position. This was an overachievement of cremation fee income of 281,130, and that's included in the financial monitoring report. The table below shows the comparative figures for the previous 10 financial years, and as previously said, in 2021, it was 1,758 cremations. Next item is with regard to sale memorials from January to March 2021. There was 24 sold, which was £5,701, compared to 3,957 in the same period last year, which is an increase of 11 memorials sold and £1,744 income. Table below identified the total number of value of memorials showed during 2021 compared to 1920. The next item is operational matters and staffing. Members were updated at last meeting with regards to the current COVID situation that staff are faced with on a daily basis, and they continue to demonstrate the high level of service that we can to the bereaved. The staff continue to cope with the demand are an asset to the crematorium, and I continue to thank them for their assistance during this difficult time. Next item is with regard to the credit card payments. Crematorium doesn't currently offer a credit card payment option to members of the public wanting to pay, and we're regularly asked if payment options can be made available with credit card facilities. Therefore, we've held discussions with the income and support team, and we're going to be offered a card machine for a monthly rental of £16 per month, plus nominal processing fees. The costs can be absorbed within the existing office budget, and this will provide an enhanced service to the families. Next item is the Crematorium Burial Conference and Exhibition 2021. This was due to be held from the 21st to the 23rd of June 2021. However, due to the pandemic, it's once again been cancelled. Next item is with regards to the Mountsett Crematorium replacement project. Members will recall that the updates to previous means the installation of 2 new cremators with mercury abatement to replace the existing cremators. We're still continuing to run the temporary cremator, which has been invaluable during COVID-19. Obviously, members were advised of a possible delay to the start of the project due to travel restrictions. However, we still continue to work with the cremator manufacturers regarding this issue, and the revised start date has been confirmed and the revised timetable set out as below. The budget strategy report in September 2020 detailed estimates of the cremator replacement and project finance of the works. Further revisions to the designs have resulted in the following updated cost projected funding, and there's obviously a saving on that. So, Chair, the recommendations is to note the performance of the crematorium, note the introduction of the credit card payment facilities, note the cancellation of the joint conference, and note the update with regard to the cremator replacement project. I'll take any questions, Chair.
Thank you, Graham. If you have any questions, perhaps you can just put RTS in the box. Well, it was a very full report, Graham, so I'm sure that people felt that they know all they need to know, but I'm sure they would want me to say on behalf of the whole committee and the people of Derwentsside, a huge thank you to the team for the work you've put in over what must be the most demanding period of your careers. So if you would pass that on to the team, I think they already know this committee values what they do, but we should never forget to say it. So thank you very much for that. And that will take us on to the next report, which is the financial. Oh, yeah, we were merely asked to note, so we have nothing to do since nobody's made any comments. We move on to the financial monitoring report, and can I invite Philip Curran, Finance Manager for Neighbourhoods and Climate Change, to take us through this report, please.
Okay, thanks, Chair. This report deals with the provisional outturn for the year 2021. There's still some work going on in terms of the figures, but we don't really expect much to change from the figures that are outlined in the report. If there is any changes, then we'll update the committee in June's meeting with that. So just to summarise, the financial figures for the current year show a surplus of 388,000 for the crematorium, and that's 53,000 less than the budget. And as a result, there's £53,000 less being contributed to earmarked reserves as a result. Just moving on to the main bit of the report. So just to say that in terms of the 53,000 surplus, that's the overspend, sorry, expenditure was up by 333,000, while income was up 280,000, as was mentioned in Graham's report. So that led to the 53,000 overspend. In paragraph 14, we'll see that, sorry, my report's a bit slow here. Yeah, so the table just at the top of page 17 sets out the subjective analysis, which shows all of the budgets for each type of expenditure and also the provisional outturn. So the detail is there, and also showing what's been added to the reserves. Just to say that when we did the previous report in December, we were forecasting an overspend of 226,000. So that's actually reduced that overspend now by 173,000. That's mainly as a result of in the area of premises where the energy improvement works have been delayed until 21-22. And also there have been additional income of 64,000, as members will have seen in Graham's previous report, in terms of the numbers of deaths that have increased. All of that feeds through really to what's being added to the reserves, and those are outlined in the report as well. And the total reserves that are forecast at the year end will be 906,000. So members just asked to note the report, please, Chair.
Thank you, Phil, for that. Does anyone have any questions on the financial report?
No.
Okay, well, in that case, we'll simply note it and move on to the risk register, which I think is you again, Phil.
Okay.
Chair, can I just say that I did manage to join the meeting in case you thought I wasn't here, and
Right.
but I've got to leave about. I've got another meeting at 10:30, and I'm the vice chair of that meeting, so I've got to go to that meeting. So, you know, I knew that you wouldn't see me because I couldn't get on, but I'm on now. Okay.
Okay, well, thank you, and it's good to see you here.
Thank you.
So on, if we may, to the risk register, please. That's for you, Philip.
Okay, thanks, Chair. So yes, this report is just to inform the committee of the outcome of the half-yearly risk review that was carried out in March 2021. The committee has a service risk register and also a health and safety risk register that are maintained in accordance with the County Council's methodology. Since the previous review, the main thing to highlight is that the net impact of one risk, which is managing the excess deaths and cremations capacity, has been upgraded from a minor risk to a moderate risk, and also that one new risk relating to potential breaches of coronavirus regulations has been added. So that's the summary. In terms of the main body of the report, we just say that in relation to risk number 1, this is in paragraph 10, the temporary cremator now has come in. That's reduced really any risk in terms of a suspension notice, so that was a good thing. The net risk evaluation is a moderate impact with a possible likelihood. The description of the managing excess deaths has also been changed to better reflect the nature of the risk in terms of whether demand would outstrip capacity. Again, these things are being constantly, reviewed because, as members will be aware, it's fairly fluid, constant changing situation. And also, there's been a new risk added, as I mentioned before, in terms of the possibility of non-compliance with coronavirus regulations by members of the public, which could lead to a local outbreak. As I say, the net evaluation of that has been classed as moderate with an unlikely occurrence, because obviously staff at the crematorium are doing everything they can to make sure that that wouldn't happen. So that's it, Chair, really, just to note the report and in terms of the risks that have been highlighted there.
Thank you very much. And again, does anybody have any comments or questions they want to put before we note this report? Well, we're cracking along at pace here. Sorry, we have, I think it's Councillor Alison Beattie would like to speak. Yes, Alison.
Thank you, Chair. Councillor Alison Beattie, Pelton Division. Quick question, I'm not sure if it should have been for Graham's report or this one, but can somebody just tell me, have we actually been doing live streams of funerals from the crematorium?
Graham, I guess.
Yeah, I can come in there, Chair. Yeah, we are doing live streams. Originally at the first outbreak, we were offering them free, but we now have a charge on and they are still popular with families.
Thank you for that answer, because that sort of leads me to a bit of a question around the finances of that. Is that something that we would potentially look to continue doing, hopefully beyond the current pandemic situation? Because I do think it seems to be very popular with mourners, because we have a lot of situations where mourners live all over the country now, and I think it's been quite well received by sort of people that I've actually spoken to. So I'm just wondering, as a committee, is this something that we could potentially look at in the future? Simply because none of us know whether or not we're coming back beyond May, and I just wonder if we can put it on a future agenda. Thank you.
Thank you. Graham, perhaps you could just fill us in on what the position was before, what it is now, and whether any change is needed.
Yeah, Chair. Before the pandemic, we were offering webcasts and live streaming for families. Like I said, during the pandemic, it has increased, and we will still continue to offer the service after the pandemic's over. It's a nominal charge for families, and they can still do recordings, they can do webcasts, they can do photos, videos. There's all different services that's going to offer to them.
Thank you for that. Can I just check, Alison, does that meet your requirements? Yeah. Okay. Thank you. With that, then, we note the report and we move on. Can I just check whether we have Tracy Henderson here to take us through the internal audit report?
Yes, Chair, I'm here. I hope you can see and hear me.
Yes, both. Thank you, Tracy. So it's all yours.
Thank you, Chair. Hello, everyone. My name is Tracy Henderson. I'm Interim Audit Manager of Durham County Council's Internal Audit Service. As you'll be aware, we provide the internal audit service at the Cremo via an SLA agreement, a service level agreement. What I'd like to do is I'd like to present this report, which is the annual internal audit report for 2021. This report provides an opinion, looks at the adequacy and effectiveness of the committee's framework of governance, risk management and control. It outlines the work undertaken by internal audit during 2021 in relation to them being in compliance or in accordance with the public sector internal audit standards. And the report fulfills the requirement under public sector internal audit standards for the Chief Internal Auditor and Corporate Fraud Manager to deliver an annual audit opinion and a report that can be used by the committee to inform your annual governance statement. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to just kind of go through some of the highlights of the report, if that's okay, Chair. One of the things that I'd like to point out is due to the COVID-19 pandemic restrictions, we obviously would have come onto the crematorium and carried out the audit on site. Obviously, that was not feasible under the circumstances. So what we did is we arranged for records to be collected for the auditor to work on the source documentation at home. As a result of that, we actually reviewed less of the number of transactions that we normally would under normal circumstances. And that was to make sure that we weren't kind of hindering the performance of the crematorium. It's pleasing to note that this report does deliver a substantial assurance opinion. As you'll see from Appendix 3, there is one medium recommendation and one best practice recommendation, and the medium recommendation has been fully implemented. So as a result of that, we can provide a substantial assurance opinion over the adequacy and effectiveness of the internal controls operating within the crematorium during 2021. As you'll see in paragraph 7 of my report, which is on page 35, sorry, my tablet's trying to reboot, so I hope I don't lose you. The definition of the substantial audit opinion is that there's a sound system of control in place, and any weaknesses identified expose some of the system objectives to minor risks. So that's really good. What I do want to point out, though, is obviously due to the corona pandemic, the opinion is qualified. There is obviously a significant level of strain being placed on the crematorium, being placed on the normal procedures and control arrangements in place. And obviously that's just to bear that in mind, which I know you already are aware of. It's not possible for us as a service to monitor and qualify the additional risks posed, but that's been touched by Phil in his report. So that's quite pleasing to give you some assurance. What I'd like to do is I'd like members to note the contents of the annual internal audit report and the substantial assurance opinion which has been provided on the adequacy and effectiveness of the control environment for 2021. I don't know if anyone's got any questions, or if you would like me to go into any further detail of the appendices, Chair.
Does anyone have any other questions on this report? I'm getting quite a lot of shaking of the heads, which I will take to mean that we're happy to note it. And can I say, it's really good for this committee to get the assurance of the internal audit that our controls are substantial. We get reassurance from the blue flag that our grounds are kept in perfect order. And I think it's fair to say that as councillors, we get reassurance from the public who tell us what a caring staff we have. So that is altogether a very satisfactory situation. And Tracy, thank you for coming to present that report.
Thank you, Chair.
That takes us on to item 10, which is any other business. I haven't been notified of any other business. Does anyone have any? Well, this is the last meeting of this committee before the elections. And can I thank you all for your service on this committee, especially those who are not standing for re-election and therefore will have no chance of serving on it in the future. And I wish good fortune to those of you who are standing, because it's a stressful time. So good luck in the elections. It's been a huge honour for me to be your chair, actually since the inception of the Unitary Authority. So I wish you, the committee, and I wish the staff and the crematorium well for the future. Thank you all very much for putting up with me for this length of time. That finishes our meeting. Can we all pause for a few seconds while the broadcast is finished?